The private airfield smelled like jet fuel and expensive cologne. I stood near what the taxi driver had told me was Gate 3, my white cane tapping against smooth concrete as I tried to orient myself in this unfamiliar space. The assistant my brother hired was supposed to meet me here 15 minutes ago, but her last text said she was running late. Traffic, she'd written. Be there in 10. That was 20 minutes ago. My name is Ezra Monroe, and I've been blind since birth. 26 years of navigating a world designed for sighted people had taught me patience and resourcefulness, but right now, standing alone at a private airfield while trying to flee the pack that wanted me dead, patience was wearing dangerously thin. Mr. Monroe? An unfamiliar male voice slightly rushed. I'm so sorry for the delay. Are you ready to board? Relief flooded through me. Yes. Is this the charter to Seattle? Your plane is ready and waiting, sir. Right this way. A hand touched my elbow, too familiar, too presumptuous, but I was used to people not knowing proper sighted guide etiquette. I let him lead me across tarmac that felt too smooth, too expensive for a budget charter. How many steps? I asked, as we reached what must be the aircraft stairs. 12, sir. I'll guide you. We climbed, and I counted each one, memorizing the pattern. At the top, cool, air-conditioned air hit my face, carrying scents that made my brow furrow. Leather, expensive cologne. Something that smelled like aged whiskey. This didn't smell like a budget charter. The seats are just ahead, my guide said. Let me help you get settled. He guided me to what felt like a massive leather seat, more like a recliner than an airplane seat. My hands explored the armrests, finding smooth wood inlays and what felt like built-in controls. My brother really went overboard, I muttered. This is way too expensive. I'm sorry? The voice sounded confused. The plane upgrade. He worries too much, but this is excessive. A pause. Ah, yes. Well, make yourself comfortable. We'll be departing shortly. His footsteps retreated, and I heard the aircraft door seal with an expensive-sounding thunk. I settled back into the plush seat, trying to calm my racing heart. I was leaving, finally leaving. 3 weeks ago, my childhood pack, the Riverside Pack in Northern California, had decided I was a liability. Being born blind made me defective in their eyes, and when I'd refused an arranged mating to an alpha who'd made it clear he saw me as breeding stock and nothing more, they'd given me an ultimatum. Accept the mating, or be declared rogue. I'd chosen rogue. My brother Marcus, who'd left the pack years ago, had arranged everything. A flight to Seattle, a job lined up with a company that specialized in accessible technology, an apartment in a building with excellent accessibility features. A fresh start where people didn't know me as that blind omega who can't even see his own worth. That last phrase had been my ex-fiancé Connor's parting gift when I'd refused him. The engines rumbled to life, the vibration traveling through the expensive seat. I heard movement in the cabin, other passengers, I assumed. The charter company must have booked multiple clients on the same flight to split costs. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. The voice came through speakers that sounded far too high quality for a budget airline. Welcome aboard. Flight time to Isla Tesoro will be approximately 7 hours. We'll be cruising at... My heart stopped. Isla Tesoro. That wasn't Seattle. That wasn't even close to Seattle. Excuse me, I called out, my voice higher than intended. Excuse me, where did he say we're going? Heavy footsteps approached. Multiple sets. 3 distinct gates, 3 different scents hitting me at once. Sir, a deep voice, controlled and cautious. Is there a problem? The captain just said Isla Tesoro, I said, my hands gripping the armrests. I'm supposed to be going to Seattle. I'm on the wrong plane. Silence, the kind of silence that screams louder than words. How did you get on this aircraft? A different voice, warmer, but edged with concern. The assistant, I stammered. Someone met me at gate 3. He said my plane was ready, I thought. My voice cracked. Please, I need to get off. I'm on the wrong flight. Sir, we're already taxiing, a third voice said. This one was measured, analytical. We can't stop now. We're cleared for takeoff. No, 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 no. Then radio the tower, I said desperately. Tell them to stop. I'm on the wrong plane. I need to get to Seattle, not wherever Isla Tesoro is. Isla Tesoro is our private island in the Caribbean, the controlled voice said. And this is a private jet, There are no other passengers, just you and the three of us. The words didn't make sense. Private jet, private island, 3 people. I don't understand, I whispered. The charter company said, "What charter company?" the warm voice asked gently. "Pacific Sky Charters. My brother booked a seat for me. Budget fare to Seattle, Gate 3 at Harrison Private Airfield." More silence. Then the measured voice spoke. "This is Harrison Private Airfield. But there is no Gate 3. Gates are numbered 1, 2, and 4. And Pacific Sky Charters operates out of the commercial terminal across the field." "Oh, God." "The person who guided you to this plane," the controlled voice said. "Describe him." "I can't," I said, and hated how my voice shook. "I'm blind." I could only hear his voice. Male, maybe 30s, sounded rushed. "Height, build?" the warm one pressed. "I don't know. I can't see. I only know he touched my elbow and led me here, and I trusted him because I thought he was from the charter company." The jet was moving faster now. I could feel the acceleration, hear the engine pitch changing. "We're taking off," I said numbly. "I'm on the wrong plane and we're taking off." "Sir," the controlled voice said, and I heard him move closer. "I need you to stay calm. Can you tell us your name?" "Ezra," I managed. "Ezra Monroe." "Ezra," he repeated. "My name is Cade Ashford. These are my brothers, Raphael and Adrian. We own this aircraft and we're not going to hurt you. But I need to understand how you ended up here." Ashford. The name triggered something in my memory. Marcus had mentioned the Ashford brothers once. Tech moguls, billionaires, triplet alphas who controlled half the shipping routes in the Pacific. I just accidentally stowed away on a billionaire's private jet. "I'm so sorry," I stammered. "I didn't mean to. I thought this was my charter. Someone must have..." I stopped as realization crashed over me. Someone deliberately led me to the wrong plane. "That's what I'm thinking too," Cade said grimly. "Raphael, get on the phone with airfield security. I want to know who was on the tarmac 20 minutes ago. Adrian, run Ezra's name through our databases." "Already on it," Adrian replied, and I heard rapid typing. "Ezra," Raphael's voice was closer now, gentler. "Are you hurt? Did anyone harm you?" "No," I said, just confused and terrified. Understandable. I felt the seat beside me dip as someone sat down. Raphael's scent, warm cedar and vanilla, washed over me. "We're going to figure this out, but right now, we can't turn back. We're committed to the flight path." "Can't you just turn around?" I asked desperately. "Not from here," Adrian explained, his voice coming from somewhere ahead of me. "International flight plan, fuel calculations, clearances. Turning back now would trigger alerts and investigations. We'd be grounded for days. So I'm stuck," I said, "going to the Caribbean when I'm supposed to be in Seattle." "For now," Cade confirmed. "But we'll get you where you need to go. Once we land on Isla Tesoro, we'll arrange immediate transport to Seattle. Our planes can make the trip." I should have felt relieved. Instead, I felt the panic rising in my chest like a tide. "I can't wait days," I said. "The pack, they'll find me. They'll..." My breath caught. I'd said too much. "What pack?" Cade's voice sharpened. "Ezra, are you running from someone?" "It doesn't matter," I said quickly. "I just need to get to Seattle. My brother is waiting. He'll be worried when I don't show up." "Then we'll call him," Raphael said gently. "Let him know you're safe. Do you have his number?" "In my phone." My hands shook as I pulled it from my pocket. "It's programmed with voice commands." "May I?" Raphael asked, and I felt him take the phone carefully from my hands. "What's the command?" "Call Marcus," I said, and heard the phone dial. It rang, and rang, and rang. "Voicemail," Raphael reported quietly. That wasn't right. Marcus always answered. Always. Unless something had happened to him. "Try again," I said. "Please." Raphael did. Same result. "He's probably just busy," Adrian offered. "We'll keep trying." But I knew. Deep in my gut, I knew something was wrong. "The pack must have gotten to him," I whispered. "They must have found out he was helping me." "Ezra," Cade's voice was controlled, but I could hear the concern underneath. "You need to tell us what's going on. If you're in danger, we need to know." "It's pack business," I said. "You wouldn't understand." "Try us," Raphael said. We're alphas. We understand pack dynamics. I didn't want to tell them, didn't want to burden strangers with my problems. But I was trapped on their plane, 7 hours from anywhere, and my brother wasn't answering. So I told them about the Riverside Pack, about being born blind and growing up as the defective Omega, about Connor, the alpha who decided I'd make acceptable breeding stock despite my disability, about refusing the mating and being declared rogue, about Marcus helping me escape, arranging the flight, promising me a new life, about how someone had deliberately led me to the wrong plane, and how that meant the pack had found out about my escape. They wanted me trapped, I finished. Stranded somewhere I couldn't run from. Or maybe they wanted me dead. I don't know. I just know someone led me here, deliberately. The silence that followed felt heavy with unspoken thoughts. Your pack declared you rogue for refusing a mating? Adrian's voice was tight with barely controlled anger. I'm blind, I said flatly. In their eyes, that makes me defective. The fact that an alpha wanted me at all was supposed to be an honor. Refusing was seen as ungrateful. That's barbaric, Raphael said, and I heard the disgust in his voice. That's pack law, I replied. Or it was for Riverside. I'm guessing your pack is different. Very different, Cade confirmed. And you're not rogue anymore. I laughed bitterly. Yes, I am. The declaration was official. I have no pack. You do now, Cade said simply. As of this moment, you're under Ashford Pack protection. Anyone who wants to harm you will have to go through us first. I didn't know what to say to that. These were strangers. Wealthy, powerful strangers who had no reason to help me beyond basic human decency. Why? I asked. Why would you protect me? The question hung in the air for a long moment. Then Raphael spoke, his voice soft. Because the moment you stepped onto this plane, we scented you. My breath caught. What? You're sent, Adrian said. Even through whatever suppressants you're using, we caught it. No, they couldn't have. And? I prompted, dreading the answer. And, Cade finished quietly, you're our fated mate. The world tilted. Fated mate. The bond that transcended choice, that linked souls across lifetimes. The bond I'd been told I'd never have, because what alpha would want a blind omega? That's impossible, I whispered. Is it? Raphael asked gently. What do you feel right now, Ezra, when you hear our voices, smell our scents, sense us near you? I felt safe, protected, like I'd found something I didn't know I was searching for. But I couldn't say that, couldn't admit that. I feel confused, I said instead, and overwhelmed, and like I need to get to Seattle before my pack finds me. Your old pack, Cade corrected. You're Ashford Pack now, and we take care of our own. The plane leveled off, the seatbelt sign chiming off. Get some rest, Raphael said, his hand briefly touching my shoulder. It's a long flight. When we land, we'll figure everything out. I can't rest, I protested. I need to. You need to let us help, Adrian interrupted. We'll keep trying to reach your brother. We'll investigate who led you to this plane. We'll make sure you're protected. But right now, you need to breathe. I wanted to argue. Wanted to insist I could handle this alone. But the truth was, I couldn't. I was blind, on a plane flying to the Caribbean, with a pack hunting me and my brother unreachable. I needed help, even if that help came from 3 alpha strangers who thought I was their fated mate. Okay, I said quietly. Okay. I felt Raphael's hand squeeze mine gently before he stood. We'll be right here if you need anything, he said. Anything at all. As their footsteps retreated and I was left alone with my thoughts, I realized something terrifying. The mate bond they'd mentioned, I could feel it, like threads connecting me to 3 distinct presences. Cade's controlled strength, Raphael's gentle warmth, Adrian's analytical calm. They weren't lying about being my fated mates, which meant I'd just accidentally found the 3 people I was meant to spend my life with. And they'd found me fleeing for my life on the wrong plane. The universe had a twisted sense of humor. Hours passed. I dozed, fitfully, waking periodically to the sound of the brothers moving through the cabin. They were trying to be quiet, but I'd spent my whole life navigating by sound. I could track all 3 of them. Cade spent most of the flight on the phone. his voice a low rumble as he spoke to what sounded like security teams and investigators. Adrian worked on his laptop, the clicking of keys, a steady rhythm punctuated by occasional frustrated sighs. Raphael checked on me every 30 minutes, asking if I needed anything. Water, food, a blanket, bathroom assistance. Each time I refused, and each time he retreated without pushing. They were being respectful, careful, like they were afraid of spooking me. Smart, considering I was one panic attack away from losing it completely. Ezra? Raphael's voice pulled me from my thoughts. We're about an hour from landing. Thought you might want to eat something. My stomach growled in response, betraying the fact that I hadn't eaten since yesterday. I guess that's a yes, I admitted. I heard him moving around, then smelled something amazing. Warm bread, roasted chicken, herbs. The galley is better stocked than most restaurants, Raphael explained. I made you a plate. May I guide your hands to show you where everything is? Please, I said, and felt his hands gentle and warm guide mine to the tray. Chicken at 12 o'clock, he said. Roasted vegetables at 3, bread at 9, water glass at 2. Standard clock face description, he'd done this before. You've guided blind people before, I observed. My mother lost her sight to degenerative disease when I was 12, Raphael said quietly. I learned young how to help without hovering. I'm sorry, I said, automatically. Don't be. She lived a full life until cancer took her 5 years ago. Being blind didn't stop her from doing anything she wanted. There was a story there, but I didn't push. Instead, I focused on eating, using the skills I'd spent years developing to navigate the plate. You're very skilled at that, Raphael observed. 26 years of practice, I replied. You get good at things you have to do every day. Fair point. He paused. Ezra, can I ask you something? You can ask. I might not answer. The suppressants you're using, they're strong. Too strong. Are you trying to hide your Omega status completely? My hand stilled on the fork. In my old pack, being Omega was bad enough, I said quietly. Being a blind Omega was worse. The suppressants helped me blend in, made me less noticeable. You're not in that pack anymore, Raphael reminded me gently. No, I agreed, but I don't know what I am now. You're ours, he said simply, if you'll have us. I set down my fork carefully. You don't know me. You don't know if I'm worth the trouble. We know enough, Raphael replied. We know you're brave enough to flee a pack that wanted to control you. We know you're smart enough to adapt to a disability that would break most people. We know our wolves recognized you the moment you stepped on this plane. Biology isn't destiny, I countered. No, he agreed, but it's a hell of a starting point. Before I could respond, Cade's voice cut through the cabin. Ezra, I need you to hear this. Raphael guided me to where Cade stood near what must be a communications console. I finally reached your brother, Cade said, and something in his tone made my stomach clench. He's safe. But there's a problem. What kind of problem? I asked. The Riverside Pack sent enforcers to his home 6 hours ago. They were looking for you. When they couldn't find you, they questioned Marcus about your location. Ice flooded my veins. Did they hurt him? No, Cade said. But they made it clear they'll be watching him, waiting for you to make contact. Which means I can't go to Seattle, I realized. They'll be waiting for me there. Exactly, Adrian said, joining us. I've been running scenarios. If you show up in Seattle, they'll grab you within hours. Marcus's home, his workplace, the apartment he rented for you, they're all being monitored. I sank into the nearest seat. So I have nowhere to go. You have somewhere, Cade corrected. Isla Tesoro, our island. No one knows you're there. No one can reach you there without our permission. I can't just hide on your island forever, I protested. Not forever, Adrian said. Just until we can neutralize the threat. Neutralize it how? I asked. We're working on that, Cade replied. But first, we need to get you somewhere safe. Isla Tesoro is the most secure location we own. No one gets on or off that island without our knowledge. So I'm trading one prison for another, I said bitterly. No, Raphael said firmly. You're accepting sanctuary from people who want to help you. Why? I demanded. Why do you care? Mate bond or not, I'm a stranger. A blind Omega with a pack hunting him. I'm nothing but trouble. You're not trouble, Cade said. You're ours. And we protect what's ours. The The certainty in his voice should have scared me. Instead, it made me want to cry. I don't know how to accept help, I admitted quietly. Then we'll teach you, Raphael said gently, starting now. The plane began its descent, and I felt the pressure change in my ears. Isla, Tesoro. A private Caribbean island owned by 3 alpha billionaires who thought I was their fated mate. It should have terrified me. Instead, as I felt the plane touch down and heard the brothers moving around me with practiced efficiency, I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Hope. Maybe, just maybe, I'd gotten on exactly the right plane after all. The island was warm. That was the first thing I noticed as the aircraft door opened and humid Caribbean air flooded the cabin. It smelled like salt water and tropical flowers, completely different from the California coast I'd left behind. 12 steps down, Cade said, offering his arm. The stairs are solid, but I'd feel better if you let me guide you. I wanted to refuse, wanted to prove I could handle it alone. But I was exhausted, overwhelmed, and standing on an airplane in the middle of the Caribbean with no idea where I was or how to navigate this new environment. So I took his arm. His scent, dark coffee and sandalwood, wrapped around me as he guided me down the stairs with careful precision. Each step, he announced. Each time my foot found solid ground, he waited before moving to the next. We reached the tarmac, and I heard vehicles approaching. Island transport, Adrian explained. Electric carts, quieter than traditional vehicles, and better for the environment. How big is this island? I asked. 200 acres, Raphael replied. Most of it is protected nature preserve. We built the compound on the northeastern shore. 200 acres. The entirety of my old PAX territory had been maybe 50. That's massive, I said. It's private, Cade corrected, which is what matters right now. The cart ride was short, maybe 5 minutes. I heard birds I couldn't identify, felt the sun warm on my skin, smelled ocean salt mixing with floral scents that reminded me of expensive perfume. We're here, Raphael said, and I felt the cart stop. Where's here? I asked. Home, all 3 of them said at once. Hands helped me out of the cart. Raphael's, I thought, based on the cedar and vanilla scent. He guided me up a path that felt like smooth stone under my feet. 6 steps up to the entrance, he said. Then we're inside. Inside was cool and quiet. My footsteps echoed slightly on what felt like polished wood floors. The great room is straight ahead, Adrian said. 30 feet to the opposite wall. Sitting area to your left, dining area to your right, kitchen behind that. The house is designed in an open concept, so there are no unexpected walls or obstacles in the main living space. He was giving me the information I needed to navigate. Distances, locations, potential obstacles. My estimation of Adrian went up several notches. Bedrooms? I asked. 2nd floor, Cade replied. But we've prepared a guest suite on the main level for you, easier to navigate while you're learning the layout. Practical, thoughtful. These men were too good at anticipating my needs. I should contact Marcus, I said. Let him know I'm safe. We already did, Adrian said. Sent him an encrypted message through a secure channel. He knows you're with us and under our protection. You told him about the mate bond? I asked, not sure if I wanted the answer. No, Cade said. We told him you were accidentally routed to our plane and we're ensuring your safety. The rest is your information to share when you're ready. Relief flooded through me. I wasn't ready to explain to Marcus that I'd found my fated mates. Wasn't ready to explain it to myself. Thank you, I said quietly. Are you hungry? Raphael asked. You barely touched the food on the plane. I'm more tired than hungry, I admitted. It's been a long day. Understandable, he said. Let me show you to your room. The guest suite was massive. I could tell from how my cane swept through empty space, from how my voice echoed slightly when I spoke. What's in here? I asked. King bed, 12 o'clock from where you're standing. Raphael said. Dresser at 3, door to the bathroom at 9, closet at 6. There's a sitting area by the windows at 2 o'clock with a couch and chairs. Windows facing where? I asked automatically, then felt stupid. It wasn't like I could see the view. But Raphael didn't make me feel stupid. East, he said simply. You'll catch the sunrise. It comes up over the ocean around 6 a.m. I nodded, taking in the information, building a mental map of the space. We stocked the bathroom with toiletries. Raphael continued. Everything is labeled in Braille. There's a walking cane by the door. It's the same length as your current one, but stuttier. And the closet has some basic clothing if you need anything. We estimated your size. You didn't have to do all that, I said. We wanted to, Raphael replied. You didn't choose to come here, but we want you to be comfortable while you are. He showed me around the bathroom, letting my hands explore the layout. Large walk-in shower with a built-in seat, toilet to the left, double vanity with Braille labels on every product, towels that felt absurdly soft. This bathroom is bigger than my old bedroom, I muttered. Our mother believed in accessible luxury, Raphael said. When she lost her sight, we rebuilt our homes to accommodate her. This island compound was designed from the ground up with accessibility in mind. You must have loved her very much, I said. We did, Raphael agreed. She taught us that disability doesn't mean inability, that accommodation is about respect, not pity. I wanted to hug him for that, but instead I just nodded. Thank you for this, I said, gesturing vaguely at the suite. For all of it. Get some rest, Raphael said. We'll be right down the hall if you need anything. After he left, I explored the room more thoroughly, building a complete mental map. The bed was enormous and comfortable. The bathroom had everything I could possibly need. The closet had clothes that, when I felt them, were my exact size and in fabrics I preferred. They'd prepared this for me. In the few hours of flight time, they'd had someone stock this room with everything a blind person would need. Either they were extraordinarily thoughtful, or they'd been expecting me. I was too tired to figure out which. I found the bed and collapsed onto it, not even bothering to change clothes. Within minutes, exhaustion pulled me under. I woke to the sound of waves. For a moment, I was disoriented. The bed was too soft, the sounds were wrong, the air smelled like salt instead of the musty apartment scent I'd grown used to. Then memory crashed back. The plane, the brothers, the island. I sat up carefully, listening. Distant voices, two of the brothers talking, though I couldn't make out words. The rhythmic crash of waves. Birds singing outside the windows Raphael had mentioned. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. I fumbled for it, using voice commands to check the message. Marcus. E got the message from the Ashfords. You're safe. That's all that matters. Don't contact me directly. Pack is watching. Stay where you are until we figure this out. Love you. I read it 3 times, relief and frustration warring in my chest. Marcus was safe, but I couldn't talk to him, couldn't hear his voice, couldn't get the reassurance I desperately needed. A knock at the door pulled me from my thoughts. Ezra, it's Adrian. May I come in? Yes, I called. The door opened, and his scent, clean linen and mint, preceded him into the room. Good morning, he said. I hope you slept well. Better than expected, I admitted. Good. I came to see if you wanted breakfast. Raphael is making omelets, and he wanted to know if you have any dietary restrictions we should know about. No allergies, I said. I eat pretty much anything. Excellent. Also, I wanted to discuss your situation. If you're up for it? I nodded, following him out of the room and down a hallway that I counted carefully. 30 steps to what must be the main living area. Turn right, 15 more steps to what smelled like a kitchen. Good morning, Raphael's warm voice greeted me. Coffee? Please, I said gratefully. He guided my hand to a mug, and I wrapped my fingers around it, savoring the warmth. Ezra, Adrian said, settling into what sounded like a chair near me. I've been researching the Riverside Pack. What I found is concerning. How concerning? I asked. They've filed a rogue claim with the North American Pack Council, Adrian said. Standard procedure for packs that believe a member is breaking pack law. What does that mean? I asked. Even though I had a feeling I knew. It means they can legally pursue you. Adrian explained. Detain you. Bring you back for judgment. The council won't interfere unless they believe the original pack is violating member rights. And a blind Omega refusing a mating doesn't count as a rights violation? I said flatly. In the eyes of traditional packs, no, Adrian confirmed. You were offered a mating. Refusing is seen as your choice, not a forced situation. Even though the alternative was being declared rogue and cast out? Even then, Adrian said grimly. Rage bubbled up in my chest. So I had no real choice. mate someone who saw me as defective breeding stock, or be hunted as a rogue. In essence, yes, Adrian agreed, which is barbaric and wrong, but technically legal under current pack law. However, Cade's voice joined us, and I heard him enter the kitchen. There's a loophole. What kind of loophole? I asked. If you're claimed by another pack before Riverside enforcers can detain you, you're no longer their member. You're protected by your new pack's authority. But I don't have a new pack, I said. You do, Cade corrected. You have us, the Ashford pack. I set down my coffee carefully. You can't just adopt me into your pack because you feel sorry for me. We're not, Raphael said. We're claiming you as our mate, which automatically makes you an Ashford pack member. But I haven't accepted the mate bond, I protested. No, Cade agreed. But you haven't rejected it either. And pack law is clear. If fated mates are identified, both parties have 6 months to accept or reject the bond. During that time, you're considered a provisional member of the claiming pack. 6 months, I repeated. 6 months for you to decide if you want us, Adrian clarified. If you reject the bond at the end of that time, we'll respect your choice and help you establish yourself somewhere safe. But until then, you're under Ashford pack protection. It was a gift, a massive, unexpected gift that solved my immediate problem. But it came with strings. What do you get out of this? I asked. Besides 6 months with an Omega who might reject you? We get 6 months to prove we're worth accepting, Raphael said simply. And if I still reject you at the end? I pressed. Then we'll be heartbroken, Cade said honestly. But we'll honor your choice. I sat with that for a long moment, weighing my options. I could refuse their help, strike out on my own, and risk being caught by Riverside enforcers. Or I could accept 6 months of sanctuary with 3 alphas who'd shown me more kindness in 12 hours than my entire pack had in 26 years. It wasn't really a choice at all. Okay, I said, 6 months, but I have conditions. Name them, Adrian said. I'm not a prisoner here. I need freedom to move around, to learn this place, to maintain some independence. Agreed, all 3 said at once. I want to contribute. I don't know how yet, but I need to feel useful, not just protected. We'll figure that out together, Raphael promised. And no pressure about the mate bond, I said firmly. You give me space to decide on my own terms. That's fair, Cade said. Then yes, I said. I accept provisional membership in the Ashford pack. The relief in the room was palpable. Thank you, Raphael said quietly, for trusting us. Don't thank me yet, I replied. You're stuck with a blind Omega who has a pack hunting him and no idea how to be anyone's mate. We'll figure it out, Adrian said confidently. Together. And somehow, sitting in that kitchen with 3 alpha strangers who just upended my entire life, I believed him. The first week on Isla Toro was an adjustment. My first morning, I woke disoriented in the massive bed, forgetting for a moment where I was. The sounds were all wrong, waves instead of traffic, birds instead of sirens, the distant hum of wind through palm trees instead of the constant noise of the city. I spent an hour lying there, listening, building a mental map of sounds before I even attempted to get out of bed. When I finally did, I used my cane to explore every inch of the guest suite. I counted steps obsessively. 15 from bed to bathroom, 22 from bed to the sitting area, 8 from bathroom door to toilet, 12 from bathroom door to shower. I memorized it all, turned the space into a grid in my mind. Breakfast that first morning was awkward. Raphael guided me to the kitchen, describing the layout as we walked. 30 steps from your bedroom door, he said. The hallway is straight, no turns. Kitchen entrance is on your left. The kitchen itself was enormous. I could tell from the way sound echoed, from how many steps it took to traverse it. There's a breakfast bar with 4 stools, Raphael explained. I'm seating you at the second stool from the left. Coffee is directly in front of you at 12 o'clock, plate of fruit at 2, utensils at 9. He was using clock face directions, which meant he understood how blind people navigated. That helped. Thank you, I said, wrapping my hands around the coffee mug. It was warm and solid and gave me something to focus on besides the overwhelming strangeness of my situation. Cade joined us a few minutes later. I tracked his approach by footsteps, by the shift in air pressure as he entered the room, by his scent of coffee and sandalwood cutting through the smell of breakfast. "How did you sleep?" he asked, his voice careful. "Well enough," I lied. I'd barely slept at all, too wired from everything that had happened. "Liar," Adrian's voice came from somewhere to my right. "I could feel your anxiety through the bond all night. It kept waking me up." I flushed with embarrassment. "I'm sorry. I didn't realize the bond worked that way." "It's not your fault," Adrian assured me. "I'm just letting you know we can sense when you're distressed. So if you need something, we'll know." That should have felt invasive. Instead, it felt oddly comforting. "I'll work on keeping my emotions under control," I said. "Don't," Raphael said firmly. "We want to know when you're struggling. Want to help if we can." "I'm not good at asking for help," I admitted. "We noticed," Cade said dryly. "We'll work on that." The rest of breakfast was spent with the brothers describing the compound to me in painstaking detail. Adrian had apparently prepared a document he read it aloud, covering everything from room dimensions to the location of handrails to which doors opened inward versus outward. It was overwhelming and incredibly thoughtful at the same time. After breakfast, Raphael offered to walk me through the main level. 30 steps from your bedroom to the kitchen," he said as we walked. Kitchen is roughly 20 feet by 30 feet. Open concept, so no walls between kitchen and living room. "How many steps across the living room?" I asked. 40 steps from kitchen entrance to the far wall. Furniture is arranged in conversation clusters, but there's a clear path down the center that's furniture-free. We designed it that way, deliberately. For accessibility, I realized. They'd designed their home to accommodate a blind person. "You really did this for your mother," I said. "We did," Raphael confirmed. "And now we're glad we did, because it means you can navigate more easily." We spent 2 hours walking through the main level. Raphael let me set the pace, let me stop and explore when I wanted to, never rushed me or made me feel slow. "The powder room is here," he said, guiding my hand to a door. 15 steps from the kitchen, 10 steps from the living room seating area. Door opens outward. He showed me inside, let me explore the layout, memorize where everything was. By lunch, I had a basic mental map of the main floor. Not perfect, but functional. "You're doing great," Raphael said as we settled back in the kitchen for sandwiches. "Most people take days to navigate this much space." "I've had practice," I said. "Every new place I've lived, I've had to memorize everything. You get faster at it." "Still impressive," Raphael insisted. The brothers were patient as I learned to navigate the compound. They'd designed it well, consistent flooring, no unexpected obstacles, clear auditory cues for different areas. But it was still overwhelming. 30 steps from your bedroom to the kitchen, Adrian would remind me when I miscounted. "The pool deck is 60 steps past the kitchen, bearing left," Raphael would add. "You'll hear the water feature when you get close." "Don't go past the garden wall without one of us," Cade would warn. "The nature preserve beyond has uneven terrain that's not safe for independent navigation yet." They were protective without being smothering, helpful without being condescending. It was a balance I hadn't experienced before. By day 3, I could navigate from my bedroom to the kitchen without counting steps. By day 5, I could find the pool deck, the library, and the main bathroom independently. By day 7, I was moving through the main floor with increasing confidence, using auditory landmarks and my cane to navigate spaces I'd memorized. "You're a quick learner," Kate observed one evening as I made my way to the dining table without assistance. "Motivated learner," I corrected. "I hate being dependent." "We noticed," all three of them said in unison, which made me laugh despite myself. Raphael was the one who spent the most time with me. He seemed to understand instinctively when I needed help and when I needed space. He'd sit with me in comfortable silence while I practiced my routes through the compound, only speaking up when I was about to make a wrong turn. "You've been counting your steps," he observed one afternoon as we sat by the pool. "It's how I navigate," I explained. "Step counts, landmarks, auditory cues. I build maps in my head." "My mother did the same thing," Raphael said. "She could navigate our childhood home perfectly, never needed help once she'd memorized the layout." "How long did it take her?" I asked. "A few weeks," Raphael replied. "But she was highly motivated. Said she'd be damned if she let blindness make her dependent." "I like her," I said. She would have liked you, Raphael said, and I heard the smile in his voice. Cade was different. He checked on me regularly, but kept a careful distance, like he was afraid of overwhelming me. One evening, I found him in what I'd learned was his office, based on the sound of typing and the scent of coffee and leather. Can I come in? I asked from the doorway. Of course, he said, and I heard him shift papers. What do you need? I wanted to ask you something, I said, making my way to where I remembered a chair being positioned. Why do you keep your distance? Silence. Then, what makes you think I'm keeping my distance? You check on me, but you don't spend time with me like Raphael does. You're always hovering at the edges. More silence. Then Cade spoke, his voice quieter than usual. I'm an intense person, he said. I'm used to taking charge, solving problems, controlling situations. But you don't need me to control your situation. You need space to figure things out. So I'm trying to give you that space while still making sure you're safe. I appreciate that, I said, but you don't have to avoid me entirely. I'm not avoiding you, Cade said. I'm trying not to overwhelm you with an alpha presence you didn't ask for. I understood then. He was holding himself back, reining in his natural instincts to claim and protect, giving me room to breathe. Cade, I said gently, I'm not going to break. You can be yourself around me. Can I? He asked. Because my instincts around you are intense, and I don't want to scare you. Try me, I challenged. I heard him stand, heard him move closer. His scent, coffee, and sandalwood surrounded me. My instincts tell me to claim you, he said, his voice low. To mark you, to make sure every person who sees you knows you're ours. To eliminate any threat to your safety with extreme prejudice. To keep you here where you're protected and never let you leave. His honesty was brutal and refreshing. But you're not doing any of that, I observed. No, he agreed, because you're not property to be claimed. You're a person who deserves choice, but restraining those instincts is difficult. Then don't restrain them entirely, I said. Just channel them. Protect me without smothering me, care about me without controlling me, be intense but respect my boundaries. I heard him exhale slowly. I can do that, he said. I think. Good, I replied. Because I'd like to get to know all three of you, not just the carefully controlled versions you think I can handle. From that conversation on, Cade relaxed around me. He was still protective, they all were, but he stopped holding himself at arm's length. Adrian was the mystery. He was helpful, patient, efficient at solving practical problems. But he was also distant in a way that had nothing to do with respect for my space. I finally cornered him about it 2 weeks into my stay. You don't believe in the mate bond, do you? I asked directly. We were in what he'd called the library, a room lined with books I couldn't read, but that smelled like old paper and leather. I believe in biology, Adrian said carefully. And I believe our wolves recognized you as compatible. But, I prompted, but I don't believe in predetermined soulmates, he admitted. I think compatibility is about choice and work, not destiny. So you think your brothers are wrong about me? No, Adrian said. I think they're following their instincts, and those instincts might be right, but I'm not going to pretend I feel something I don't just because biology says I should. His honesty was refreshing, if painful. So, what do you feel? I asked. I feel protective, Adrian said. I feel like I want to help you. I feel like you're interesting and brave and stronger than you realize. But I don't feel the overwhelming mate bond certainty that Cade and Raphael describe. And that bothers you, I observed. It does, he admitted. Because I want to feel it. I want to understand what they're experiencing, but I can't force something that isn't there. I sat with that for a moment. What if the bond develops over time? I asked. What if it's not instant for everyone? Then we have 6 months to figure that out, Adrian said. And I'm willing to try. I'm just not going to lie about where I am right now. I appreciate that, I said honestly. Pretending would be worse. Agreed, Adrian said. And somehow his admission made me trust him more than flowery declarations of fated mate certainty would have. 3 weeks into my stay, I started exploring beyond the immediate compound. Raphael accompanied me, describing the island as we walked carefully marked paths. "There's a beach on the western shore," he said. "White sand, calm water. The eastern shore where we are now is better for watching sunrises, but the western beach is perfect for swimming." "I don't swim," I admitted. "Never learned?" Raphael asked without judgment. "Couldn't," I corrected. The pack didn't want to waste resources teaching a blind Omega to swim. Raphael was quiet for a long moment. Then, "Would you like to learn?" "Here?" I asked, surprised. "Why not? The water is clear and calm. I can guide you. It's a useful skill." "I'm 26, I said. "Isn't it too late?" "It's never too late to learn something new," Raphael replied. "Unless you don't want to." "I want to," I admitted. "I've always wanted to." "Then we'll make it happen," Raphael said simply. The swimming lessons started the next day, and I was terrified. Raphael led me to the western beach, describing every step. "White sand, very fine grain. The water is calm today, barely any waves. Temperature is about 80 degrees. "How deep does it get?" I asked, my cane tapping against sand. "Gradually," Raphael said. "You can walk out about 50 feet before the water reaches your shoulders. It's perfect for learning." I wasn't convinced. What if I panic? What if I can't tell which way is up? "Then I'll be right there," Raphael said simply. "My hand will be on you the entire time. I won't let anything happen to you." The water was warm when we first stepped in. I felt it lap at my ankles, then my calves as we waded in slowly. "We're knee-deep now," Raphael narrated. "Bottom is solid sand, no rocks or sharp objects, just smooth and even." We went deeper, waist deep, then chest deep. My breathing was rapid, my heart racing. "Ezra," Raphael said gently, "you're safe. I've got you." "I know," I managed. "Logically, I know. But my body is freaking out." "That's normal," Raphael assured me. "The first time my mother went in the water after losing her sight, she had a full panic attack. Took her 3 tries before she could relax enough to actually learn." "What helped?" I asked. "Trust," Raphael said. "She had to trust that we wouldn't let her go under, had to trust the water would hold her, had to trust herself to remember she knew how to swim once." "I've never known how to swim," I pointed out. "Then you get to learn from scratch," Raphael said. "No bad habits to unlearn." We spent that first day just getting comfortable with being in the water. Raphael supported my weight, letting me feel how the water buoyed me up. "The human body naturally floats," he explained. "You're mostly water yourself. The ocean recognizes that." "That's poetic," I said. "It's also true," Raphael replied. "Now, I'm going to support your back. Let yourself lean into my hands and just relax." It took me 20 minutes to relax enough to actually float. Every time I felt myself sinking even slightly, I'd tense up and grab for Raphael. "I've got you," he kept saying. "I won't let go unless you tell me to." Finally, I managed to lie back in the water with Raphael's hands under my shoulders and just exist there. "Perfect," Raphael said. "You're floating. All on your own, really. I'm barely supporting you." "Don't you dare let go," I warned. "Not yet," he promised. Day 2, we practiced breathing. Putting my face in the water, blowing bubbles, turning my head to breathe. "It's the hardest part for blind swimmers," Raphael explained. "Not being able to see when the water's coming. But you can feel it. Trust your other senses." By day 3, I could float on my back without Raphael's hands supporting me. "I'm going to step away now," he warned. "You're floating perfectly. I'll be right here, arm's length away." I felt him move back, felt the absence of his support, and for a moment, panic surged. Then I realized I was still floating. The water was holding me. I was doing it. "I'm doing it," I said, wonder in my voice. "You are," Raphael confirmed. "You're amazing." Day 4, we added movement. He taught me to kick, to pull my arms through the water, to coordinate breathing with motion. I swallowed a lot of seawater that day. Choked, spluttered, went under twice before Raphael hauled me back up. "Again," I demanded each time, spitting out salt water. "You're sure?" Raphael asked. "Again?" I insisted. By day 5, I could swim a few strokes before my form fell apart. By day 7, I could manage 10 strokes in a row. By week 2, I was swimming laps in the pool, 40 feet, turn, 40 feet back with Raphael calling out the wall so I didn't crash into it. Wall in 5 feet, he'd call. 3 feet. 1 foot. Turn. I'd plant my feet on the wall, push off, and swim back the other direction. It was exhausting and exhilarating, and I felt more capable than I had in months. You're incredible, Raphael said after I'd completed 20 laps without stopping. Most people who learn to swim as adults take months to build this much endurance. You've done it in 2 weeks. I'm motivated, I panted, pulling myself out of the pool and collapsing onto a lounger. Why? Raphael asked, sitting beside me. What's driving this? I want to be useful, I admitted. I want to contribute. I can't see, but I can learn. I can adapt. I can be worth keeping around. Ezra, Raphael's voice was serious. You don't have to earn your place here. You're not here because you're useful. You're here because you're ours. But I'm not, I said. Not yet. Not unless I accept the bond. And you're taking time to decide? Raphael said. Which is completely fair. But whether you accept us or not, you don't have to prove your worth. You already have worth, just by being you. I wanted to believe that. But 26 years of being told I was defective made it hard. The swimming helps me feel capable, I said finally. Let me have that. Okay, Raphael agreed. But know that we see how capable you are, every single day. The bond was a strange thing. I could feel all 3 of them now, like presences in the back of my mind. Cade was a constant protective warmth. Raphael was gentle understanding. Adrian was growing certainty. When Cade was stressed, which was often, given that he was running a multi-billion-dollar company from the island, I felt it as a tightness in my own chest. When Raphael was happy, I felt lighter, like my mood was lifting to match his. When Adrian was focused, I felt a sharpening of my own thoughts, a clarity that wasn't entirely my own. It was invasive and intimate, and sometimes overwhelming. Does it ever get easier? I asked Adrian one afternoon. We were in the library, him working on his laptop while I listened to an audiobook. Does what get easier? He asked. The bond, feeling other people's emotions all the time. Adrian was quiet for a moment. It becomes more background noise, he said finally. Right now, it's all new, so you're hyper-aware of it. But eventually, you'll learn to filter, to recognize which emotions are yours and which are ours. How long does that take? For most bonds, a few months, but we're not typical. Because there are 3 of you, I said. Because there are 3 of us. Adrian confirmed. Triplet bonds are always more intense. You're not just bonding with one alpha, you're bonding with 3 separate minds, 3 separate emotional landscapes. Is that why you resisted it? I asked. Because you knew it would be overwhelming? Partly, Adrian admitted. I don't like feeling things I can't control. The bond is inherently uncontrollable. But you're accepting it now, I observed. I'm trying, Adrian said. Some days are easier than others. I appreciated his honesty. Cade and Raphael spoke about the bond like it was magic, like it solved every problem. Adrian spoke about it like what it was, a biological imperative that complicated everything. Thank you, I said. For what? For not lying about how hard this is, I replied. It helps to know I'm not the only one struggling. You're definitely not, Adrian said. We're all figuring this out as we go. 1 month into my stay, Cade came to me with news. We've been negotiating with the Pack Council, he said, about your situation. My stomach clenched. And? And they're willing to hear your case. If you want to file a formal complaint against the Riverside Pack, we can make it happen. What kind of complaint? I asked. Coercion, Cade explained. Forcing a mating under threat of being declared rogue. The council frowns on that kind of behavior. But I was declared rogue, I pointed out. Doesn't that make it a done deal? Not if we can prove the declaration was made under duress, Cade said. If the council finds in your favor, the rogue status is nullified and Riverside Pack is censured. And if they don't find in my favor, I asked, then you remain a provisional Ashford Pack member for the next 5 months, and we figure out next steps from there. What are the chances of them finding in my favor? I pressed. Cade was quiet for a moment. Honestly, maybe 50-50. The council is conservative. They don't like interfering in internal pack business. But you think I should try anyway. I think you deserve justice, Cade said. And I think the council needs to hear what Riverside Pack did to you. I thought about it for a long time. Filing a complaint meant publicly declaring that I'd been wronged. It meant standing up to my old pack, risking their retaliation, exposing everything that had happened. But it also meant not letting them get away with it. Okay, I said finally. Let's do it. The complaint was filed the next day. The council's response came a week later. They would hear my case in 2 months. 2 months to prepare, 2 months to wait, 2 months to wonder if I was doing the right thing. The brothers rallied around me. Raphael helped me practice telling my story, gently correcting when I downplayed the abuse or made excuses for the pack's behavior. Adrian compiled evidence, documenting everything from the forced mating arrangement to the rogue declaration. Cade coordinated with pack law attorneys, making sure we had the strongest case possible. And through it all, I felt something shifting inside me. I wasn't just a victim anymore. I was fighting back. And I wasn't fighting alone. I had 3 alphas who believed in me, who supported me, who were willing to go to war with the Pack Council on my behalf. It was terrifying and empowering in equal measure. 2 months into my stay, something changed. I was in the library with Adrian, listening to him read through case law, when I realized I could feel him through the bond. Not as strongly as Cade and Raphael, but it was there, a thread of connection that hadn't existed before. Adrian, I interrupted. Do you feel that? Feel what? He asked. The bond, I said. It's there, between us. He went very still. I feel it too, he said quietly. It started a few weeks ago, faint, but growing stronger. Why didn't you say anything? I asked. Because I wanted to be sure, Adrian replied. Didn't want to get your hopes up if I was imagining it. You're not imagining it, I said. I can feel you. I heard him set down his tablet, heard him move closer. I'm sorry I doubted, he said. The mate bond. I thought I was too logical for it, but you're proving me wrong. I'm not proving anything, I said. The bond is proving itself. Fair point, Adrian said. And then, quietly, I'm glad it's you. I know I was skeptical, but I'm glad our wolves chose you. I reached out, found his hand, squeezed it gently. I'm glad, too, I admitted. 3 months into my stay, I had a nightmare. I was back in Riverside territory. Connor was there, telling me I was defective, worthless. The pack was there, declaring me rogue, casting me out. I woke up gasping, my heart racing, my whole body shaking. And I wasn't alone. Someone was in the room, sitting on the edge of my bed. You're safe, Cade's voice said. You were having a nightmare. We heard you through the bond. We? I managed. All 3 of us, Raphael's voice came from my other side. Your fear woke us. I'm sorry, I stammered. Don't apologize, Adrian said from somewhere near the door. Do you want to talk about it? I don't want to go back, I whispered. To the hearing. I don't want to see them again. You don't have to, Cade said firmly. We can withdraw the complaint. Your well-being matters more than justice. No, I said. I need to do this. I'm just scared. That's understandable, Raphael said. But you won't be alone. We'll be there with you. What if they're right? I asked. What if I am defective? What if refusing Connor was selfish? Ezra, Cade's voice was fierce. Look at me. Or, well, toward me. I turned my head toward his voice. You are not defective, he said. You are not selfish. You refused a mating that would have destroyed you. That's not wrong. That's survival. But pack law. Pack law is wrong, Raphael interrupted. If it allows forced matings, if it punishes omegas for refusing, if it treats people like property. You're worth more than what Riverside Pack believed, Adrian added. We see that. The question is, do you? I didn't know how to answer that. But lying in bed with 3 alphas surrounding me, protecting me even from my own nightmares, I thought maybe I could learn to believe it. Stay, I whispered. Please. I don't want to be alone. We're not going anywhere, Raphael promised. They stayed until I fell asleep again, and this time, the nightmares didn't come back. 4 months into my stay, the hearing date arrived. We flew to the council headquarters in Montana, a different plane, one I boarded willingly this time. The hearing room was intimidating, even though I couldn't see it. I could hear the formality in how people moved, the weight of authority in the council members' voices. "State your complaint," the head of the council said. I took a breath and began. I told them about growing up blind in a pack that saw me as defective, about Connor's generous offer to mate me despite my disability, about the ultimatum, accept or be declared rogue, about the fear, the coercion, the complete lack of choice. I told them everything. When I finished, the council asked questions. Some were sympathetic, others were skeptical. "Many Omegas would be grateful for any mating offer," one council member said. Why was this different? Because the alpha in question made it clear he saw me as breeding stock, not a partner, I replied, because I knew the mating would be a prison. "That's a strong word," another council member observed. "It's an accurate word," I said firmly. "A mating without choice is slavery. I refuse to be enslaved." The Riverside Pack representatives argued that I'd had a choice, that being declared rogue was a valid consequence of refusing their alpha. He was defective goods rejecting a generous buyer, their attorney said. Pack law is clear on the consequences. The phrase defective goods hung in the air like poison. I heard Cade growl behind me, felt Raphael's hand tighten on my shoulder, sensed Adrian's fury through the bond. "I'm not goods," I said, my voice shaking but determined. "I'm a person, and I deserve the right to choose who I spend my life with." The council deliberated for 2 hours. When they returned, the head spoke. "We find that while the Riverside Pack's actions were within the letter of Pack law, they violated the spirit of member protections. The Rogue Declaration is nullified. Ezra Monroe is free to affiliate with any pack of his choosing." Relief crashed over me so hard I almost collapsed. "However," the council head continued, "we censure the Riverside Pack for coercive practices. Future similar cases will be viewed as violations of member rights." It wasn't everything, but it was enough. I was free. After the hearing, back on the plane headed to Isla Tesoro, I finally let myself cry. Raphael held me while I sobbed. Cade sat on my other side, his presence steady and grounding. Adrian's hand rested on my knee, a silent show of support. "You did it," Raphael said quietly. "You stood up to them." "We did it," I corrected. "I couldn't have done this alone." "You're not alone anymore," Cade said. "And you never will be again." 5 months into my stay, 1 month before the provisional period ended, I woke up with clarity. I loved them, all 3 of them. Cade's fierce protectiveness that made me feel safe. Raphael's gentle understanding that made me feel seen. Adrian's quiet support that made me feel valued. They'd given me space to heal, time to grow, freedom to choose. And I was choosing them. I found them in the kitchen, making breakfast together like they did every morning. "I accept," I said without preamble. All 3 of them went still. "Accept what?" Raphael asked, carefully. "The mate bond," I said. "All of you. I accept." The joy that flooded through the bond was overwhelming. Cade crossed to me first, pulling me into a hug that lifted me off my feet. "Are you sure?" he asked. "I'm sure," I said. "I love you, all of you." Raphael was next, his kiss gentle and sweet and full of promise. "I love you too," he murmured against my lips. Adrian's embrace was careful, controlled, but the emotion in his voice was unmistakable. "I wasn't sure this would work," he admitted, "but I'm so glad it did." The mating ceremony was simple, just the 4 of us on the beach at sunset. We spoke vows we'd written ourselves. They promised to protect me, support me, love me. I promised to trust them, to let them in, to build a life together. The mating marks came after 3 bites, 3 bonds, 3 alphas claiming me as theirs. And I'd never felt more complete. Years later, I would think about that day at the airfield, about getting on the wrong plane, about how the worst mistake of my life had led to the best thing that ever happened to me. Because yes, I'd boarded the wrong flight, but I'd landed exactly where I was meant to be. Sometimes getting lost is the only way to find home. And sometimes home is 3 alpha brothers on a Caribbean island who see you not as defective, but as perfect. The end. If Ezra's journey from fleeing and lost to found and loved touched your heart, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories where wrong turns lead to right places. Drop a comment telling me which brother was your favorite: Cade's fierce protection, Raphael's gentle understanding, or Adrian's evolving certainty. Thanks for being part of this journey, and remember, sometimes the wrong flight is exactly where you need to be.